Hello, friends. Welcome again for another discussion on a new subject today through Ayurveda, how it can help you. We almost in winter now, and many of us must be already experiencing some kind of stiffness, pain, swelling in our joints, which ultimately we can expect that it might be leading towards arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or osteoarthritis. So, in those situations, if one is already suffering from these problems, how we can manage them and what Ayurveda share with us. In Ayurveda, this ailment is known as Amvat. Am means toxins. Vat is, as we all know, whole Ayurveda revolve around three bodily intelligence, and one of them is the Vata intelligence, which is responsible for everything to move and dominant in our nervous system, controlling all the nerves function, muscle functions, movement, and when it get affected and blocked, that's where the pain will come. So that is where the situation as far as joints issues comes up. Now, simple principle, as you know, in Ayurveda is always for every ailment that we have to look at incompatible habits and incompatible thoughts which might be leading to any problem. But sometime if we look at a bit general understanding, many of us are not very keen to make changes in our habits which relate with our lifestyle, relate with our diet. So they always look for some kind of product which can help. And that's where the real problem comes. Many of us will go towards mainstream medicine where you will be given anti-inflammatory on a regular basis, and then you might end up with going a bit more strong like methotrexate or other sort of medicine. And then many will feel relief for a while, then the problem can keep coming up more and more intense and severe. In addition, then they will look at what is available in the form of supplements, and then when they go to the health practitioner, they will be given supplements like, again, pain reliever in the form of either they are getting into shark cartilage, omega-6, omega-fortified is another one nowadays with various components. Glucosamine is another very common component. Now, as I mentioned many times, that using these kind of supplement or using these all anti-inflammatory drugs, what they do is they will help you to mitigate your symptom. Symptoms on a simple level is your inflammation, pain, stiffness, tightness. And when you are taking them, they are making some improvement and you feel very good, and you keep doing all what you are doing in your lifestyle, in your diet and other habits such as running on concrete, going for 5K run on hard surface, treadmill, eating all those foods which are at a first place built up so much toxins in our system, which we can relate with whether you are eating so much of bread, which is a fermented component, or so much of inflammatory component, whether it is your cheese, whether it is your peanut butter, chili sauce, tomato sauce, chips, oily food, and all various, then your wonderful organic salad, all that are a very staple part which we have talked about in many um, ways in different parts. Then what these food and what these activities does, we need to understand that when we are letting the body to get built up more toxin, and toxins will get built only when your metabolic intelligence, which is known as your digestive fire or Agni according to Ayurveda, in your body. Then it will not metabolize the food what you have eaten and built the toxin, and those toxins naturally can go to the weak area which get inhibited by your activities which are incompatible, and that will make your joint more vulnerable. So hence the problem. So, and if you, I'm sure many of you will be very much aware that what is the joint structure. Joint is made from the bones, and then bones are supported by ligament, muscles, cartilage, and they have a very one specific function to stabilize the joint, because joints are the one which help in your mobility, moving and everything, whether it is small joint or whether it's your big joint, knee or other or hip joint. So their mobility is related with your muscles, ligament, tendons and cartilage. Now when the stiffness and tightness will start coming up in them, that's where they will be start giving you pain. But one need to understand why at the first place the stiffness, tightness has start coming up, why the synovial fluid which is in the joint is start getting affected. In many cases when there is an excessive inflammation, that fluid can start getting dried up, and then the rubbing of the bones start happening, osteophytes and other issues can develop, and then you will have more serious problems. So in these situations, what happens when you are taking anti-inflammatory on a regular basis or using these so-called supplements, your pain, your symptoms start getting relief, no question about that. But then at the same time, everyone who has been using these products for years and years, they all know that their pain keep increasing. Even then they have to increase their dosages, still nothing is happening. And one stage will come up when they visit their specialist or like that, they will say, now your wear and tear has gone to that level that you need now knee replacement, hip replacement, and that's where it is. And one wonder why it is so. While I was taking care of my joint and my problem very diligently, but still it has not corrected and not prevented me going under knife for surgery. So answer is very simple. When you are using such product which are only symptomatically helping you to ease your pain or inflammation, never going to give you that security, that protection, that you will never go in the situation where you have to replace your joints and suffer more serious. So now one wonder, what is the answer? Again, coming back to this ancient science which we are talking about, give you a solution that even if you feel that I will have difficulty in correcting my lifestyle or my diet to that extent, or I can do it for a while, or I can give up something, but I'm not going to give up everything and I cannot do it. So in that situation also, Ayurveda advise you that there are so many Ayurvedic herbs which help to mitigate that toxin build-up in our body by correcting the intelligence of your metabolism, which is your Agni. And Agni will not let those toxins to build up, and that toxins will not go to those areas which are already gone weak areas. And hence, not only your pain, what you are suffering on day by day, will start easing out, but your further development of toxins in that area will also totally minimize, and hence you are not going to get the problem to aggravate. So that's the way we have to understand why Ayurvedic herbs are more helpful than these kind of supplement and then these kind of anti-inflammatory medicines from our mainstream doctor, because those medicines have themselves so many side effects which those who are using, they know they get with the gut problem, hyperacidity, burning of the lining, that suffer from gastric ulcer, duodenal ulcer, then they have to go for omeprazole or other kind of issues. So what Ayurvedic products are there, or Ayurvedic herbs are there which can help anyone suffering from these joint tissue not to let their problem get more further. One of the herb which is very very common and getting very more, everyone in the Western world is also becoming aware, known as Boswellia serrata, which is known as Shalaki. This is one of the best Ayurvedic herb that act as an anti-inflammatory, hence mitigate the inflammatory indicators and then let the pain and ease out. And because this inflammation is coming from, I already shared, from the core cause where the metabolic intelligence is getting affected, it will start correcting it. Now, another part is, you might have seen in the last 1 year or so, most of the Western so-called herbal supplement have started incorporating Boswellia serrata in their product, because that is what the market is all about. When they see there are specific herbs, and as Ayurveda is growing slowly, becoming more and more widely popular, acceptable in the Western world, these companies are always on the forefront and trying to pick up something which can then help them to keep going for another 2 years. By the time they will bring up something else. So they're trying to incorporate that medicine along with their other supplement which I mentioned, either it's the glucosamine or shark cartilage or fortified omega, and that's what they said. Now, one thing I would like to share from this platform, please be careful. I know not everyone is going to get into these things, but still your health is in your hand. You should be careful whatever product you are using, why you are using, and how it help you. And you don't need to let it go for years to verify. You can always make in a window of 3 months and then see that whatever product you have used, how it has eased your pain and how it has helped you not to let your problem get more and more further aggravated. And then you can decide. But I see a lot of people always in my clinic who've been using these anti-inflammatory medicine from their doctor, and then so many supplements, they bring in a basket full of their supplements for different problems. And that's what I try to share with them, that look, you have been using such kind of supplement for such a long. Now the time is that if you can stop them and look at the Ayurvedic medicines, Ayurvedic product, and why you should look at, again, first thing is Ayurvedic herbs always going to correct your core cause. And then the second thing is why these Western companies who are bringing up these supplements and incorporating one or two of Ayurvedic herbs, some might be using boswellia, some might be using turmeric, some might be using ginger, because they are all very good anti-inflammatory pain reliever, but because they can't leave their old habits to use different kind of vitamin or glucosamine or shark cartilage or omega, they cannot understand that how we should be correcting the core cause. Hence, their role is only to select one or the other part. Then in addition, what they do is they never use the required dosages what has been given by ancient texts, and not even to rely on the ancient text. Even now, all of these herbs are being researched widely in a big way in our Western labs, and they are analyzing them based on their chemical composition and active ingredients, and then they identify that what exactly this herb is going to do, and the dosages are also coming up very clearly. So for example, if we talk about boswellia, this need to be used 1.5 gram minimum as a single dose, and if you are using 2 times, 3 gram must be given to an individual to see some result. But if you look at most of the time, any product you pick up from the market, it might have a 250 milligram, 300 milligram, that kind of thing, which is going to do nothing. That's the one part. Second part is Ayurvedic herbs never work independently so effectively. They always work when we are incorporating various herbs which has a common focus on as an anti-inflammatory, pain reliever, and then pain comes from the nerves, so where the nerves conduction is getting affected, which can help to mitigate that. Then using them the right dosages is what your product should be effective. And that's what you should look for when you go and try to buy an Ayurvedic medicine also for your particular ailment. And here we are talking about for your joint problem. So there are herbs which should make one product, or even you can make on your own if you are a practitioner, but then because the dosages has to be used in a correct way, hence you need to find such product which can give you that part. And on that basis, I am bringing up one product which is known as Bone Tone. As you can see, this product is made in Australia, and this product is made under the TGA's regulation, so that way quality control and efficacy part you can rely. And this product I have been using for last 43 to 45 years in my practice for hundreds and thousands of people, because joint problem is such a serious issue and common issues which is coming up more and more. Even now young people are getting affected with that. So that is something I have found very effective, and now I brought it this product. Now what makes this product very effective? If you look at its composition, the one main ingredient is that shalaki we are talking about, boswellia serrata, and then if you look at and pick up the label, 2.5 gram is in one capsule. So the way we have used the extract and then the potency of the extract to give us that part. And not only that one herb, then we have another one is Vitex nirgundi, which is best analgesic. So best pain reliever without any side effect, and even it works with the inflammation part where we talk about water accumulation in the joint. So that's another part, because sometimes lot of complexities comes up in the same joint and leading to the problem. Then there is another very specific herb known as devdar, which is hitting directly on the nerves pain. So it's in a best neurological component of that. And alongside, when you look at their dosages, as I mentioned, 2.5 gram of your boswellia, then 1.5 of your vitex nirgundi, and then you have 325 milligram of your devda. So that's the one part. And then on top of that, it has turmeric, which is best anti-inflammatory, best pain reliever, and help in purifying the toxins from that particular area. Then it has a ginger, which again is a best pain reliever, and then the fenugreek. So that all herbs, along with one of very specific Ayurvedic herb for vata balancing known as haritaki, Terminalia cebula. That is where this product becomes like such a potent medicine for your joint problem. If you are going through that phase and you have tried everything, I will say even if you try it for 3 months, you can see the result. If you can put your pain or problems from 0 to 10 and say you start with 8 or 9, within 3 months you might be ending up 2 or 3. That's what the benefit you can get from this product. Then along with that, another aspect I will try to share, because whenever you will have joint problem, as I briefly mentioned before, it comes due to the stiffness, tightness in the muscles and joint. So you need such kind of product which is definitely correcting from inside, but locally on the joint to ease immediately your pain. You need such kind of oleation to the particular joint area which can act as a relaxant, but then also mitigating that whole inflammation and pain and tightness and stiffness, because that's what the characteristics of the muscle, ligament, tendon, cartilage is. They are very much oily, they are very moist, and if the moistness has been taken away from them, the problem is going to keep building. Hence, those who are all suffering from this joint problem, they, along with the bone tone, they must use another product which is locally they can use, is known as arthi oil. This oil, why it is better than the other kind of relaxant tube creams what you get out in the market? Because they are all cold base. Cold base means they are having a cooling impact, which immediately take your pain, but then it will make your muscles, ligament, tendons more stiff and tight, and then make your condition more and more worse. Whereas this arthi oil is such a specific oil that it will have the more warmthness. Warmthness will help it to penetrate into your joints more quickly and then ease the muscles, ligament, tendon, help that stagnation or obstruction of the vata intelligence which is related with the pain quickly, and you will feel your joint are getting that mobility which was lacking and which is the core cause of your problem. So together these two products can help you not only to ease your current issue, but help you not to ever go under knife, even if you are not making any big changes in your lifestyle, which is the core part of Ayurveda anyway. So that's where I thought that let people know that why you keep making your joint bone more and more worse and suffering from. If any one of you or as a practitioner you are using other kind of products in your clinic, try to use this bone ten and see the result along with arthi oil. Not only you will help your client to get better, it will give you peace of mind that yes, I am able to play an active role in the well-being of my client. That is what we always talk about in Ayurveda, the conscious practice, that conscious business, that you are in business, but don't sell those things which you know are not going to solve the problem of my client, but because I have to advise them those kind of supplement, shark cartilage, fortified omega, I know that it is not going to change or not going to stop, but whatever small contribution I can make towards creating that awareness among either the practitioner or those who are suffering to make them right choices, that is something give me personally satisfaction, and hope people can understand that. So that's all for today. Thanks everyone.